Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. Um, it's I normally don't trade over the weekend, but I position myself a little bit just because price was so volatile, right? Um, Let me think here. I started trading here, shorted, took profit, added, took profit, hedged in here, added more to shorts, took profit, move came back up. And here's the deal. So like for me, just to give you guys like an idea of where I'm at mentally looking at this chart here. For me, I look at this chart and I think to myself, here we can it's a pretty busy chart. I just want to clean it up a little bit. Here we can just hide this for now. Remove that. So for me, like when I look at this chart, first of all, my plan is to, I guess, do I not have it on this chart? So I was originally looking for something like this, and we did not get like this bounce up. And I'm looking at this price action, and I'm thinking to myself, well, where are we positioned here? And if you like, I don't know if you guys are on, crypto Twitter and all of that, but everyone on crypto Twitter is like, oh, my whole timeline is bearish. Everybody is super bearish, so that means that we have to pump. Well, here are my thoughts. Okay, so below, basically, below this level here, anybody who tried longing, they're all trapped up in here, right? Anybody who longed up and above here is all trapped. Okay. In my opinion, not a lot of people shorted on the move down, right? People who are positioned for a short were shorting, somewhere up in here. So this move down, this push, I mean, this was a really aggressive, just straight move down. I don't think that retail really hopped on this. So what is retail waiting for? Retail would love to see a move back up here. Now look at this, resistance, deviation, breakdown, back test, right? So I even posted this chart myself on, I posted this myself even, last Friday. I was like, hey, if we did get a move up here, I would consider short in this zone. Well, of course I would. Like, why wouldn't I, short this zone? And that's the thing about this is, previously resistance, deviation, backtest, confirm resistance, breakdown. Okay, it's like textbook. Now, in my opinion, like I said, is everybody bearish? Is the timeline super bearish? Sure, right? You could argue that it is. Everyone is looking for a move down, but what are they looking for first? They may all be bearish here, but they're not short. They want to short higher. So they would love to see a move up, right? Backtest the zone for then a move down that they can short. So like, in my opinion, I don't think that is going to happen. I think like the worst possible thing that can happen is for us to stick to this range and then break down out of it, have continuation to the downside. And like I said, for me, like if you guys are not big into regular trading, you don't want to like, trade often or keep up regularly, whatever. If you just draw this trend line here on your chart and set an alert on it, pretty much all you'd have to do is just say, long when price crosses this trend line. Look for longs, right? So my idea would be we're going to range here for a period of time, and we would then break down. Everyone is looking to trade this 25 zone. I think we'll cut right through it, and we'll range below it here, and then maybe come down and tap this trend line or something like that, to which then, and only then, everyone here will probably be calling for price to, go down here or range. Who knows? Who knows? People say, oh, we're going to 10K. And then, at that point, price can decide, if we're going to get a move back up, you know, to some of these zones or wherever, right? And we can take it by year. We don't have to predict that far out to make money, right? We can simply look at what we have and make money from there. But what I can say is this is that for me, like I said, this plan, I thought long and hard. I thought long and hard about what price might do, and I talked in great detail about that last Friday. So if you guys are interested, I won't go too crazy into it right now, but if you're interested in it, my live stream from last Friday, I talk in great detail about this, that you know, we ultimately have this volume gap right here, right? You can see that price has spent little to no time in this area, right? Here, wick, right here, drop through, resistance, resistance, wick, cut straight through, right? Support, support, support. So from here, I would again expect, my initial thought was that we would get a move down here in range in here. I don't think that that's going to happen anymore. I think that we'll cut straight through it. We'll break down to this zone, tap this trend line, tap this support line here, and then we'll pump. And I don't think we'll spend a lot of time here. I think it'll be really fast, something like this. We'll spend a very short period of time here. And then I think we're going to get a move back up into this zone and then range here for a period of time until price decides what it wants to do. Okay. So like that's my zoom. Let's zoom out for a second. That's my plan, right? Generally speaking. This one is still kind of in play. I'm not crazy about it, but it's still kind of in play as long as this new low holds. Let's zoom in on that once. Yeah, so as long as this low, let's see where it extends down to. It's a little bit extended, but as long as this low holds, this is possible, right? Getting this move up here to then the 886 and then a move back down to here. This is possible. I'm not going to hold my breath on this. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, this is for sure going to happen. What I will say is if we get into this zone around this time, like early May, the first week of May, if we're trading in this zone, which I think would be very unlikely at this point, if we were, holy shit, am I going to look for shorts? I think that this would be an incredible trade. I think this would be the most savage thing in the world, right? Everyone that shorted on the way down would get mega wrecked, which would surprise me. And then on a move back up here, everybody would be thinking that we're going to go off and create new highs, when in fact, you know, we have what is possibly virtually a perfect butterfly harmonic. A little bit extended on the B wave, but that's okay. It's a small enough deviation that I'd accept it. And, you know, from there, you know, trade it back up for our C wave, then back down to our D wave, which actually could extend down to this trend line, right? We could go as far as the 1618, which would kind of bring us down into here, right around where this trend line is, right? So that's something else to keep in mind. If all of a sudden we start absolutely ripping and we go through this trend line, then price is just, you know, really getting a good pump, then this would be something that we can, you know, take into consideration. Let's see here once. I'm curious if, yeah, that would be the 382. Yeah, you know, we'll just have to take it day by day. I think that this week will be really revealing on like what we can expect, like to manage our expectations and whatnot. So anyway, let's go ahead and zoom in here. I'll talk a little bit about why I flipped net long here. And the same thing applies to Ethereum, right? So I had this, you draw this 618 and you would have drawn it from here, right? We got to move over just like this, and this was a swing failure. I shorted the swing failure down, and this is kind of the spot where I'm talking about for me is that, you know, we have this attempted breakdown, the low holds, attempted breakdown, a nice reaction from the lows, a reclaim of the 618 here. And this deviation to me, right? There's a lot of trap shorts in here. You know, we had a good reaction. We reclaimed the level. To me, there's no clearer long. I mean, I swear to God, like even longing this, like I wasn't generally interested in, but I did hedge. I opened up a hedge long here, right? Because resistance, back test, right? It's a nice little back test. I opened up a hedge here, a hedge long to hedge my short. And I was never really crazy about this hedge long, right? I heavily shorted in here, so I was net short. We got the move down. I didn't get a chance to take profits on that. And when we saw this here, this deviation to me, like there was no, I would rather long a reclaim of the 618 like this than long this any day of the week. To me, this is like such a great long opportunity. And of course, you know, here we go. Like even on the 6-1 or on ETH here, you can see it's a very similar story, right? So this is, yeah, this is really, really nice setup. I posted this in the scalps trades for ETH. But if you were watching BTC, you could have taken the exact same trade. I also added to my BTC long here. At this point, however, you know, I think that if we go ahead and we draw, let's take a look at this one. I think that it's pretty clear, you know, if we go ahead and hide this larger range that we're in, let's just remove some of this stuff. And some of you have already pointed this out. Simply put, we are range bound, right? So what I can tell you right now is that with this move up, right, I'm not the only one thinking, wow, this is a nice reclaim of what was support, a deviation to range lows, reclaim support. We're seeing a move up. Great. I'm obviously not the only one that saw that or thinks that, hence why we are seeing some degree of a pump here. That said, I'm not closing my shorts at all. I'm net long. As soon as we get up into this zone, I'm going to be hedged 1-to-1 because I'm going to close partial of my long. So I'll no longer be net long. I will be hedged 1-to-1. And I have my stop, I believe, above. I can't remember if it's above here or here right now. I'd have to look at my my exchange. But what I can say is that I'm just gonna let my hedge do the work for me. So when we get up here, if we get to this zone and price really starts to kind of falter, I may open it. I may add to my short. I'll add to my short and I'll flip net short, right? And again, I'll just look to trade it back down to the bottom of the range, right? For me, when I see this, I think that, you know, people are seeing this pump and thinking, yeah, this is the pump. You know, this is the low. We just went down for this whole time here. We had this massive move to the downside, and now, you know, we've been in this. Now it's time to pump. We're gonna go back up to the previous range val, right? Where it was resistance here, right? Like I was talking about earlier, how this was resistance. We deviated, so it would make sense for price to come back up here before having continuation or simply ranging. Like to me, this is what's on everyone's mind. What would totally suck and be the worst thing ever in the world is if we get to the top of the range here and we, well, keep ranging. So I'm going to really keep this into consideration because what is my primary viewpoint of price right now is that, you know, in my opinion, we are more likely to break down and have continuation to the downside, right? That's how I felt last night. Now, after seeing this deviation here and taking this long, I'm willing to accept the possibility of a rally, which is why I opened a position there. I'll be closing it, so I'm hedged 1-to-1, and then at that point, I'll let my stop loss and my hedge trades do the talking for me, right? I won't have to make a decision. But if price falters here and we see some weakness, I very well may look to short with my stop above here and trade it back down to the bottom of the range. In my opinion, In my opinion, max pain this week would be to sit in this $700 range all week long. Well, for at least a few more days, right? I think this would really mess people up. You know, see some more deviations, etc., etc., of course, right? I think that that would be a really, really great, you know, a great thing to see throughout the week. Okay. All right, so let's do a little bit of what is this? Oh, let's do a little bit of updating on our charts here. Oh yeah, and don't forget our H3 order block, right? You can see we have this really nice H3 order block here, which ding, 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 ding is the top of our range, right? So it's acting as resistance right now. I don't think that a lot of people have this drawn on their charts. Maybe it's not an H3. Obviously, it's not an H3. What is it? It's a 4? H6? It's an H6. Sorry about that. H6 order block. It looks like it could also apply as an H4 too, to be totally honest with you. Either way, right? You can see that, you know, this previous area was support and now it's acting as resistance. And I think a lot of traders right now are far too focused on, like I said, on this one, you know, looking to trade back up here. When, like I've emphasized throughout this video so far, I think it would be better for us to simply range here and then break down. Personally, I think that that's more likely because it's painful. It would suck. ETH is almost to our target. I didn't delete my long setup, did I? Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is the long setup from earlier. Yeah, we didn't quite hit the target yet. Pretty damn close, right? Range highs. Okay, so yeah, let's do a little bit of updating on the chart. Just go through kind of what we have here. Let's update our previous week levels. We have a monthly close around the corner. Okay, previous week low is now about 27,100. Previous week high about 3,500, 30,500, and weekly open. Let's go down to a 4-hour time frame and take a look at these levels here. Yeah, I'll tell you, if we were to get a move up here, like kind of like a lot of people are calling for, or like what they want, I think that it's more likely we'd come back up here, reject, swing failure, close above, then get the move back into here around this time frame where it meets with this trend line, and then we'd see continuation to the downside. Again, not too crazy about it, but something to take into consideration. I think that having the previous week low and this new low here, they're like virtually equal lows. I don't think that those are going to hold. So just something else to consider, right? Something else to keep in mind. Let's see this short. I don't really need that anymore. This trend line, I don't know where that is. This channel, okay. This is an H6OB. Drop this in our order blocks. Don't need that. Yeah, and see, like people, I feel like a lot of people are missing this trend line here. See this trend line? It's been like a key support resistance flip trend line. So like when I'm on crypto Twitter and I'm seeing like people are, what the fuck did I just move that from here? And I'm like, yeah, people are calling for a move up here. I'm just like, do you not have this drawn? I mean, look on an hourly time frame. Look at this trend line. Look at this. Like super well respected. I mean, we're clearly rejecting from this. Not only that, but again, we have some vertical horizontal resistance as well, right? With this H6 order block and what was previously support. Yeah, I just, I'm like banging my head against the wall seeing people post that, and I'm like, why would you think that we're gonna just like totally send up here right now? Like, what would be the advantage to that? You would give bears a better short entry, and you would give underwater bulls an opportunity to exit their positions. Why would the market work that way? That doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, this trend line, if you don't have it drawn, you can see that it just, it extends from back here. You can basically just draw it right in this zone, and it just simply extends all the way up, right? And it's really, really key SR flip. Yeah. Yeah, Bilbo, I see that for sure. I agree. I mean, it's definitely it's an opportunity to take profit if you'd like to. I'm like I said, I'm hedged, so I'm decently positioned, and I'm not going to let a 15-minute candle right now, a couple 15-minute candles deter me from my primary target, especially with such a move up like that. Like when you see, when you see this setup, you know, so if we go ahead and draw just to show everyone what Bilbo's talking about here. So you can see we're rejecting from the 618. Not surprising. The majority of times when you're trending, right? So we have on a lower time frame, high, low, high, higher, low, higher, high. It's not uncommon to first reject from there before having some degree of continuation to the upside. And also, you have to keep in mind, what was once resistance, the weekly open, we could be looking to reclaim here as support. Um, Given that, we were at this support level here and we reclaimed it, I just find it unlikely that we would get a move up, reclaim this zone, have a lot of buying power come in, and then just come back down and have continuation to the downside. It's entirely possible. I mean, of course, anything's possible. You can even see like this really nice move here was totally retraced. But on this case here, we have a little bit more market structure and reason to believe that that wouldn't happen. So, yeah, for me, no, I'm still comfortable holding this. I totally encourage you to put your stops at break even, because if we were to break all the way down to here again, I'd say the chances of getting it back up to range high probably decrease. I would consider it a decrease, but as long as like the weekly open continues to hold and we kind of do like an SR flip of this zone, I don't see any reason why we couldn't at the very least get back up to the, to that trend line or, to range highs basically, and then consider to short them back down to range lows, right? So yeah, it's all about your risk tolerance. If you like I said, I totally welcome you to take profit. As a good scalp up to this point, but yeah, for me, I'm not. I'm okay holding it for a little bit yet. I'm not gonna let this little bit of PA deter me as of yet, right? I mean, if we start to see significant changes in this, then that may be different. Okay. So, and again, to Bilbo, by the way, keep in mind, I'm not considering this to be like some massive breakout to the upside where we have continuation. I'm simply looking for a wick or something just to tap that upper level, right? Because I'm as of right now, I'm gonna trade this as if it's range bound. So to see a little bit of weakness here, and then maybe to have a possible sweep above, then it's entirely on the cards. Okay, so we got that going. Let's look at our monthly levels. Previous month. Monthly open is a very interesting level. And the previous month low, we can't even see it. Monthly high, virtually useless. I don't really need the weekly low on here, the previous week low, because it's just the lows of the range. The weekly open, not entirely interested in right now. Yeah, so as of right now, I like kind of everything I have on my chart here. Let's take a look at some of our old. Do we have a new weekly level? Yes, we do. We have a new untapped weekly level here, which could also be a good spot for our butterfly harmonic, if my memory serves me correct. Yeah, holy shit, that would be perfect for our. Yeah, I mean, this zone would do. 886 would be a swing failure, though. That might be a little bit better. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a nice level. Definitely worth having on the chart in the event that we do see some moves to the upside. I'm going to edit this and say watch for SFP plus weekly resistance above potential butterfly harmonic. Okay. We can look at some of our ranges here. So this trend line I actually drew based on this channel here. But you can see this channel is just like, man, it's a really nice channel. You know, it's basically encompassed all of this price action. And you can see we broke up to the upside here. Well, guess what we're doing? Yeah, we are gaining acceptance back inside of this channel. And what happens when that happens is, well, you expect to trade back down to the bottom of the channel, right? So we can look for one of two things. Again, potential deviation, and we would see that on a breakout and reclaim of this level. Again, you know, I'm more interested in shorting. I'm not. If we were to deviate here, I still like. I really don't think that this is a great area for a short. I think if we were to break out here, flip this to support, I think that we would probably get that scenario where we get the move up higher. But again, we'll have to take it day by day. I personally don't think that this is going to be a deviation. I think that we're going to continue to range right here in this area, put in like some kind of a bear flag, and then have continuation to the downside. 100%. So this is a really nice range to keep an eye on. Okay, that one we don't really have a whole lot going on with. We could argue, you know, if price were to reach into this zone here, we could really take into consideration that that channel is here along with this trend line and a little bit of confluence. We could look at our fibs to see if there's more confluence there as well for a short opportunity. Okay, so this one we can see we deviated this channel here. We don't really need to worry about that one. Again, some confluence here with coinciding with that trend line. Yeah, nothing too crazy here. So this 28K sideways range, right, is essentially what we're trading in at this time. And we can see we're just sort of stuck in the lower bound of this range, right? Kind of in this lower section of the range here. So this is something worth keeping in mind. I don't necessarily need it on my chart right now. Range sideways, yep. 30K range, 24K range, okay. Nothing crazy there. I drew out the 28K value area, so you can see that price, at the very least right now, is struggling with the value area low of this range here. And, you know, basically, if you want that on your chart, you would just, you know, go ahead and draw it out from here to here. Go ahead and turn off your extend right. And you can see that this is, if you go ahead and extend these, you know, you can see that the point of control is acting as resistance here. Dancing around the val, so not too crazy of respect there. But yeah, if we go ahead and pop on our it's not quite reaching it, but it's within a small zone, right? All right, so that's it on that. We have our lows to get taken out. This one was taken out. This one was also taken out. So as far as lows go, we really only have this one to be taken out at this point. Locally, that's the last one we have to be taken out here. Let's go ahead. Oops. Another one here to look at, clone, and then of course we have our new one here. So this is kind of the state of things in terms of sweeping and grabbing lows. Fair value gaps. I think we have a new one. Not so much really. We filled this one already. Yeah, not so much. Not so much seeing it. Yeah, what are we doing on a lower time from here? Let's pop that up once. Yeah, maybe price doesn't hold it. That would be pretty crazy. Not gonna lie. I'd be very surprised by that. Yeah. Let's take a look at ETH and then we'll kind of start to wrap up here. Yeah, it looks like we might just be front running that take profit, huh? Wow, look at that. Hmm. All right, let's pop onto a 4-hour. Yeah, so ETH, man, ETH has been, I haven't really, trading ETH has been fine. It hasn't really been, BTC has been way more respected. It's been way cleaner of a trade as of late, right? Similarly to BTC, we got that swing failure. I did trade that. Again, we reclaimed this level that was support after deviating it. I did long that, which right now is starting to look like it's not going to be playing out very well. So we'll have to kind of play that by ear. Yeah, basically we're going to want to see this 618 level hold here, right? And then, you know, another flip to the upside would be great. I had my take profit set at 1880, which we can see was front ran by $3, which, you know, it is what it is. Okay, cool. So go ahead and get rid of that. It's the long that we were taking. If you guys are in that long, again, like I said earlier, you're welcome to take profits. We were at resistance, right? The value area high and the 618. But again, I just still think that we could see range highs from here. You know, we'll have to take it trade by trade, but we don't need this anymore. I don't need any of these anymore. We don't need this. Swing failure, previous week low, monthly open. This is no longer the previous week low. We'd have to update that. Yeah, and price is still trading above this macro range. Where is, let me see here. There it is. This trend line. So there's a CME gap down somewhere in here, like around 1430. Which I think would line up pretty nicely with a move that I would be looking for on. Holy shit. ETH is just tanking right now. Damn. You know what kind of sucks for me sometimes is these moves happen when I'm doing a live stream, so I can't manage my trade. Hang on a second. Yeah, that sucks. That really sucks. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll do this quick and I can just look at it afterwards. No big deal. So last thing I want to do is just take a look to see if we have a new weekly level on ETH, which we do. Weekly level here, 21,118. Untapped. Yeah, live streamer at the gym, exactly. Yeah, it's always like at some point in time where I can hardly manage my trade. Yeah, again, I'm just really expecting some degree of a larger move down. I think that this zone could be like a next key area to keep an eye on are these lows here. So that's definitely something that we can look forward to is this lower zone here, right? So once kind of price gets down to there, I may be interested in taking a little bit more of a long position. Some not, I don't want to say like a swing, but something of more like a swing position. Similarly on BTC. On BTC again, like I'm not, until we really get. For me, honestly, my next swing position is probably going to be off of this trend line. Like I said, I'm just generally really bearish on here. So here's my plan. I'm going to give you guys like just a breakdown of what I think is probably going to play out. I think that we continue to range here for a time for an inevitable breakdown, right? So in knowing that, we can be a little bit more favorable on our short positions. But let's just keep in mind if we were to see that breakout to the upside that we could, look to short like this monthly open previous range val area. Again, like I said, I'd be a little bit hesitant on it because I think it's a pretty overcrowded and obvious trade that all of your favorite CT influencers are posting on their timeline, which typically means that it's not going to happen, right? So we'll go ahead and call it there. I need to do some managing on a trade here that's now both are, well, my ETH one's fine, but the Bitcoin one is underwater. Thankfully hedged, but I would have been really happy to do a little bit of managing up here. So we'll take a look at that. I'll be in the Discord all day. This evening I will not be as active. But later tonight, into tomorrow, I'll be back at it for the rest of the week. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Discord. And as always, thank you for watching.